Hi, I'm Adam Radonis, and in this space bit, we're going to look into why humans should return to the moon to stay. First, the moon is a stepping stone to refined technologies needed for human settlements on Mars and beyond. Jeff Bezos recently presented his vision for millions of people living in giant space colonies eventually, but he sees two blockers in the way. The first is launch costs, and the second is learning how to utilize local resources on the moon and elsewhere. With water ice discovered in permanently shaded craters of the moon's poles, this ice can be used as a fuel for some rockets. The reason why this is so critical is that without learning to use this local fuel, it would be extremely expensive to maintain any human presence in space. Similarly, for Elon Musk's plan to create a colony on Mars, making local fuel is a key component for any Mars mission. If a manned lunar mission is properly scoped, I believe that some of the technology development necessary for Mars can actually be accelerated. This is because you only get a launch window once every 2 years for Mars, while the moon could be weekly in the limit. While there are some significant differences between worlds, some shared knowledge and validation could come from, for example, robotic mining of ice in low-gravity environments, dealing with abrasive toxic dust and separating it from ice, having construction robots cover a habitat in regolith to protect against radiation, creating landing pads, testing inflatable habitats, ensuring accurate estimation of spare parts requirements, learning to rely on a solar microgrid, also providing ground support crews with real mission operation experience. And finally, demonstrating end-to-end refueling of rockets with a locally sourced fuel. Which brings us to our next reason to go to the moon. Inevitably, the extremely harsh environment of the moon and limited resources will provide a forcing function to innovate new technologies that may benefit Earth. During the Apollo program, many of these spin-off technologies found uses in areas you'd never expect. For example, firefighter suits, solar panels, heart monitors, and even fake pig mothers. The mechanical mother comes in 2 models, 8 or 16 artificial nipples. Anyways, I imagine a base on the moon can encourage technology development like, for example, high-efficiency air and water recycling systems, autonomous construction and mining robots, advanced microgrids, or new insulating materials that could help with sustainability on Earth. Which brings us to our next reason to go to the moon. The long-term economic opportunities. There are new technologies that could be developed, which can be licensed to earn money. Also, water could be exported to refuel satellites around Earth. Next is tourism, which surprisingly has already somewhat started with billionaire Yusaku Maezawa paying SpaceX for a trip around the moon. Then, there's the possibility that helium-3 could be mined on the moon and exported for use in future fusion reactors. The problem is, those don't exist yet, and helium-3 is found on the surface in concentrations of 4 parts per billion. So you need to process 250,000 tons just to get 1 kilogram of fuel. The next reason is scientific exploration. One of the most exciting prospects would be putting a radio telescope on the far side of the moon, as it has the unique property that shields almost all radio interference from Earth. There, spread across hundreds of kilometers, radio antenna would allow scientists to look at undistorted 30 megahertz waves from 1 trillionth of a second after the Big Bang, and learn how the universe inflated. Lastly, there are the intangible benefits. Going to the moon to inspire may come off as a fluffy reason, but we've seen how the Apollo program ignited the interests of thousands to pursue science and engineering careers. With a future crew that will likely represent the diversity of humanity, kids around the world will be inspired by people pushing the bounds of what is possible. Also, sending humans to the moon has been a nonpartisan issue in a time where everything seems to divide us. It would serve as a beacon of hope that together we can still achieve ambitious goals. Finally, the constant real-time images of Earth as a borderless spaceship the size of a penny will remind us that we're all in this together, and we need to protect the environment on this pale blue dot that sustains us. Those are my reasons for going back to the moon. Let me know in the comments if you agree, and please click subscribe to get more space videos.